Hi everyone, Rachel Nard here, and this is Kettlebells Made Easy, the 14-day fast track for beginners. Today is lesson 9, and I am here at the computer because I'm going to show you the one tactic that everyone misses. If you remember from the previous lessons, I said there was something that people always miss, and it is intensity. So if you have your intensity correct, you will make progress faster than just about anyone else who is beginning their journey with kettlebells. So I wanted to walk you through some of the most important parts when you are figuring out if you're using the right intensity. And when we talk about intensity, I'm talking about load. So a specific weight that you're using for a given number of repetitions. So sometimes you'll hear people talk about their RM, which means repetition maximum. And you might hear people say their 1 RM, which is their 1 rep maximum. They can only do that weight for one time. If you're training with kettlebells or you're training at home, you might not need to do a 1 RM. In most cases, we never have our clients do a 1 RM attempt. What we do is we find our 5 rep maximum for almost all of our lifts, and we use that to go up or down in the intensity. And the cool part about that is that, number one, you don't have to spend so much energy looking for your 1 rep maximum on a bunch of different lifts. That creates a lot of fatigue. It'll take you a couple weeks to go through all of those lifts and max out on all of them just to find out what your RMs are for the other zones. So we like to go somewhere in the middle, find what we can do for our all-out set of 5, and then use some math to go up or down from there. So, like we said, what is an RM? It's a repetition maximum, okay? This is, in our opinion, the best way to see results the fastest. If your sessions are too hard, it's going to be very discouraging. You'll probably be less consistent because it'll take you longer to recover from your sessions. You might be super sore, which can also leave you less motivated, less willing to go back to the program. And if you tweak something or end up with a minor injury, that's also going to be another hurdle in your journey towards progressing and getting stronger. Opposite of that, if things are too easy, then you'll just be coasting through all your sessions, which can be fun sometimes, but you'll be leaving a lot of strength and progress on the table. If your program says do 20 reps with a 5 RM weight, and you're actually using a weight that you can do for 12 reps. So you won't be executing the program as optimally as you could if you're using the correct intensity. So the best way to start is to find your 5 RM for your basic skills. And in the other videos, we talked about patterns and thinking about training in terms of patterns versus specific exercises. So it will take you a long time, and this is why training is super fun, because it will take you a while to establish your 5 RM for dozens of different exercises, right? But you want to start with the basic ones. So in our opinion, there's 6 basic movements that you should try to establish first. So squat pattern. So you want to establish how heavy can you goblet squat for 5 reps, and this will just take some trial and error. Do only 2 to 3 reps as you're working your way up. Don't spend a lot of energy doing 10, 15 reps at lighter weights. Just pick up a kettlebell, take your best guess, do 2 to 3 reps. If you feel like you could easily nail 5, grab one that's a little bit heavier. So it's trial and error. I would take one day to figure out your lower body 5 RM, one day to figure out your upper pressing 5RM, and another day to figure out your upper pulling 5RM. So again, squat pattern, try to figure out your 5RM for your goblet squat. Try to figure out your 5RM for your 2 kettlebell front squat. That's a super important one. Try to figure out your 5RM for your kettlebell deadlift, whether that's using 1 bell or 2. For the upper pushing or pressing, try and do both patterns, both planes of motion. So you want to figure out 1 arm military press. That's a great place to start. What bell can you do 1 hard set of 5, not multiple sets of 5, 1 hard set of 5. You could do double bell pressing, and horizontal pushing, which would either be a push-up or a floor press, which we went over in that pressing lesson. So if you want a refresher on how to do that, make sure you head back to the lesson about pressing. Upper pulling, obviously not with kettlebells, but vertical pulling, such as pull-ups, chin-ups. If you have rings, ring-assisted pull-ups, find out what you can do for your all-out set of 5. With the kettlebell, any row variation, bent over row, renegade row, all of those work. Find out what you can do for your hard set of 5. So like I said, I would break those into 3 different sessions, because it is taxing to try to work up to a 5 rep max and figure out what the right weight is. And the cool thing about kettlebells, if you're using kettlebells, generally they come in 2 to 4 kilo increments. So a really good guess is if your 5RM, for example, for your 2 kettlebell front squat is 2 24 kilo bells, you take your time, you find out through testing, okay, this is my maximum effort for 5 reps. I could not do a 6th. Perfect. You can use math to find out, okay, for my 3RM, it's most likely that I can do 2 28 kilo bells for an all-out set of 3, but you'll know automatically which weights you should be using for which intensity zones. You'll take all the guesswork out of it, and you'll progress so much faster. In our program specifically, we use different terms. A lot of times we use RM, so 3RM through 20RM. Other times we might label something as very heavy, heavy, medium, light, or very light. And if you're more experienced, you might also know percentages of 1 rep max. So if it's your 1 rep max, that's 100% of your 1 rep max. So when you're looking at the other intensity zones, you can equate terms easily. So if you have a 3RM, that's around 90 to 92% of your 1 rep max, or what we call the very heavy zone. 5RM, 85%, or heavy zone. 8RM, 75%, or medium zone. 12RM, 65%, or light zone. 20RM, 55%, or very light zone. So once you get familiar with all these terms and how they are interchangeable, it becomes very useful to continuing with getting stronger. So that is the breakdown for how to find your 5RM. Rewatch this video, save it, bring it with you, press pause when you're actively going through that session. I hope it was helpful to you. If it was, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you can check out our website, trainwithwaves.com, to learn more about our coaching. And I'll see you next time for lesson 10. Bye.